Well, Inigo, I'm glad that we have finally settled the debacle of your headaches. And guess gave ourselves one as well in the process. I'm telling you, that's Longseer, Phil. I don't trust him. Everything in my gut tells me not to trust him. But, for your sake, I will follow your lead. Whoa. Looks like our trip to Riverwood is filled with adventure already. Although there hasn't been much on the road from Dawnstar. You two handled yourselves well. It's glad to see that those wolves did not take you as prey this day. We'll hold our conversation for later. Excuse us. We're just heading to Riverwood. Guess we'll save the rest of that conversation for later. And now for another headache, no doubt. I won't lie, I've been avoiding seeing Delphine for ever since last time we were in Whiterun, which was in the Banner Mare. There's no telling what she's been cooking
Inigo,
up.
are you up for a bit of rhyming?
Sure. My mind is a little bored, so this is pretty good timing.
You're a fun companion, Inigo, even when you're whining.
In my opinion, word games are best when you play them reclining.
Indeed. The world is a crazy place, but there's usually a silver lining.
Ah.
I may have lost the context of these words I am combining.
I can see that. If this were a production, I'd be headlining.
Okay, you win. Very good.
Thank you. I must say, this has put me in a rather good mood.
Well, it should.
That was fun, Inigo. Thank you. Ah, Riverwood. Let's go find Delphine.
Yes, let's find the blade. And hopefully get some more, let's find this blade and see what stories she has to unfold. Stories of old, stories to tell. All before our heads explode. I can rhyme a little bit too, just give me some time. Not all of us are gifted and whimsical in the rhyme. Okay, that was an accident, but you have to give me your points on that one. Riverwood. Hard to believe it was... What has it been now? 2 months? Maybe a little longer since Hogan. I wonder how Hadvar is. I wonder how he would take it knowing that I'm Dragonborn. I know I didn't like the title to begin with, but it's starting to grow on me. Not just having the title of Dragonborn, but the responsibilities as well. Lucian, you heard my rambling back at Langley's cabin. I feel them inside me. The souls of the Dova that I slew in battle, still there. Still whispering. Lure me somewhere. Or trying to lure me somewhere. But their knowledge is still inside me. And I will use that, we will use that for a better future. For Skyrim.
Ragnar was boastful no more. When his ugly red head rolled around on the floor.
Hopefully Delphine knows not to keep her boasts, or she might meet a similar end. I can just feel the irritation already building up inside me. Let's get this over with.
Come on in. Just stoke the fire.
I don't think you were followed. Come on, I have a plan.
You've been dragging us this long? Inigo, Lucian, stand guard.
We got rooms.
Wow,
and food.
he
Drink,
actually...
too. I cook.
Did you hear him singing from outside? Timing of that song. Seems to always play when you enter a tavern. Here. You two stand guard, will you?
Whistle if you need me, okay?
I will. I might do more than just whistle if you catch my meaning.
Good morning, Eric.
Good morning, Lucian. Stand guard with Inigo, will you?
I'll be right here.
Good. Just stand guard. I'm sure this shouldn't take long.
Staunch protectors, the Imperials. Drink to today's come and gone. For the age of aggression.
Sky got me. Husband Miko.
Drive out the storm folks and restore what we own.
Didn't Inigo let you in, boy?
Steel we will take back our
Alright, you can come with.
down with Gopher, the killer.
That way you could bite her hand if she reaches for a dagger or sword.
We'll drink and we'll sing.
Alright, Delphine.
I figured out how we're going to get you into the Thalmor Embassy.
You're still on about that plan, are you? Well, it took long enough, didn't it?
I've been doing this a long time, remember? While the Thalmor have been looking for me, I've been watching them.
So what's your grand plan? To infiltrate the Thalmor Embassy, possibly the most well-guarded place in all of Skyrim, say the Blue Palace or Ulfric's Keep.
The Thalmor ambassador, Elenwen, regularly throws parties where the rich and connected cozy up to the Thalmor.
I already see
I
where
can
this
get
is
you into
going.
one of those parties. Once you're inside the embassy, you can get away and find Elenwen's secret files. I have a contact inside the embassy. He's not up for this kind of high-risk mission, but he can help you. His name is Malborn.
Malborn.
Wood Elf. Plenty of reason to hate the Thalmor. You can trust him. I'll get word for him to meet you in Solitude at the Winking Skeever. You know it? While you're doing that, I'll work
I
on
haven't been
getting you an
to Solitude in
invitation
a
to
while,
Elenwen's
but
little
I think I
party.
remember it.
Meet me at the Solitude stables after you've arranged things with Malborn. Any questions?
Oh, I have plenty of questions, but this Malborn fellow, he's a wood elf. As I remember, Riverwood was annexed by the Old Mary Dominion. I can't remember the exact details, but I think it was rather... not to the extent that they're trying to gain here in Skyrim, nor the rest of the Empire. Are you sure that we can trust him? I'm still debating if I can even trust you, but... who is he in more detail?
Don't worry about Malborn. He's not a dangerous character like you.
I'm glad you
But he
admit
hates
that.
the Thalmor at least as much as I do. He's a wood elf. The Thalmor wiped out his family back in Valenwood during one of their purges that we never hear about. Luckily, they don't know who he really is, or he wouldn't be serving drinks at the ambassador's parties.
I thought all those purges was just that, rumors. I didn't spend long in Riverwood. Only a week. And that was more than enough not to go back there anytime soon. And this plan of getting me, if you haven't seen me, I'm not the noble type or a high classer. So how do you plan to get me into this party without raising all kinds of suspicion?
Let me handle that. You'll have a real invitation, don't worry. As long as you can act the part of a Thalmor toady, you'll get past the guards.
And once I'm inside the embassy, then what?
That's when the fun starts. You'll have to slip away from the party without raising the alarm.
Slip
Then you'll need
away.
to find Elenwen's office and search her files. Malborn should be able to point you in the right direction.
Sure, I'll just become invisible and nothing will go wrong, I'm sure. This plan of yours, it's just... it screams of opportunity to backfire. And when it does, I'll be sure to tell you all the details about it. But I'll see you in Solitude after I meet this Malborn.
Sounds good. Be careful.
I'm gonna need it. I'm telling you, Miko, that woman is going to be the end of me. We're not even married. Sure, Inigo and them would like to take some more time to rest. I'll stay down here while yet and do some reading. First, maybe a little disenchanting. I agree. It's a good plan.
This is an ode to Skyrim's staunch protectors.
In Search of a Champion. In Search of a Champion, Volume 1 by Langley Longseer. This should be good. That's quite imaginative. Dreams. Ever since I was a child, I've had the gift of foresight. At the age of 6, I woke from a dream which I saw our cattle being slaughtered by a group of monstrous beasts, all slashing claws and ripping teeth. I could smell the thick, metallic stench of blood as I awoke, screaming. My father led me outside to prove that our livestock were safe. They were all there, at the bottom of the field, alive and well. We went back indoors. I was fussed over, reassured, then turned back into bed. Early one morning, about a week later, my father found our whole herd slaughtered. It had been killed by a pack of giant wolves. The entire field was red with cow's blood. I soon learned to listen to my dreams. For many years, my gift has served me well. Specifics are often frustratingly hazy. If I have a vision, it almost always comes to pass, unless I somehow intervene. I've had countless visions over the years. There is one that has outlasted all the rest. Since I was a young man, my sleep has been plagued by persistent nightmarish apparition. I've named this being the Doomstrider, because in my dreams it brings anguish, grief, and pain wherever it walks. I've decided to dedicate my life to finding the one person my dreams tell me can vanquish this great evil. The Doomstrider. In my dreams, a hateful, shadowy figure strides through our lands, casting all asunder. I see Tamriel transformed to a tortured ruin. I see thousands of innocent lives destroyed. I hear screams of agony, the weeping of children, and the hopeless prayer to gods that can no longer intervene. This is not a mere nightmare. It's a vision. How long do we have before this thing, this agent of annihilation, appears? I know not. All I know is that there is one who can help us. There is still hope. A champion. In my dreams, I see a champion unlike any other. Khajiit, that should not be. He escaped death in his first year and has successfully eluded it ever since. He is bold and fierce, but also kind and loyal. Like all Khajiit, his appearance was discerned by the moons at his birth. He is a product of an extremely rare celestial alignment. The heavens have gifted him brush fur, bluish fur, great strength, sharp eyes, and according to my visions, the power to destroy the Doomstrider. I must find the champion before it is too late. Progress. Very interesting artwork. The dreams are more frequent than ever, but I think I'm making progress. I procure a traveler's journal that may describe our champion's place of birth. In the Khajiit homeland, there is a tiny village completely cut off from the modern world. The birth of a blue Khajiit is significant in their folklore. Every 200 years or so, a child is born who turns blue a few weeks after birth. The appearance of a blue baby is seen as a bad moon omen, And those bloodthirsty zealots sacrifice the infant as soon as they get their first blue fur. I can only assume that the champion of my vision somehow escaped his fate. Maybe he was smuggled away by a family member. I'll travel to elsewhere and visit every settlement in the vicinity of the village. Maybe I'll get lucky. Our hero has a name. Inigo. His name is Inigo. After many months of travel, my searches led me to the town of Riverwood. Apparently there was a blue Khajiit here. He left to seek his fortune years ago. He and his brother were abandoned at the orphanage, and they were adopted by a local couple. This has happened a long time ago. Inigo and his brother are likely grown men by now. Alas, his parents recently left town with a traveling caravan. I must speak with them. I'll follow their trail and see if they know where their son is. From what I've heard, his foster parents were strange, but pleasant people. I'm sure they'll help me if they can. Inigo's brother is called Fergus, and Inigo's mother is called Leia. Oddly, his father is Argonian. His name is Da Vinci. A tragedy. I found the traveling caravan this morning among a litter of corpses. It's been ransacked. Everyone's dead. Damned bandits. The filthy thieves paid a price, though. At least 16 of their number were killed in the attack. I wept when I found Leia and Da Vinci. They're dead. They died holding hands, heads resting brow to brow. Poor Inigo and Fergus don't know yet the tragedy that has fallen them. At least, they have each other. I found Da Vinci's journal by the side of the road. Its pages hold so much love for his wife and sons. I will find a quiet spot, dig a grave, and lay the valiant couple to rest away from the crows and rats. May they find peace and joy in the afterlife. May they hold hands for eternity. May they do. Inigo is the one. I'm certain Inigo is the champion I've dreamed of. I returned to Riverwood and passed on the news about Leia and Da Vinci. The town folk were both saddened and shocked. They have no idea where Fergus and Inigo are, but word has been sent through what conducts exists in the hope that they will be found. Since returning here and telling the tale of how I discovered and buried their parents, the locals have been more forthcoming with tales of Inigo's past. It seems he and his brother became heroes here in their teens. The town was overrun by a swarm of migrating giant spiders, and 3 people died. When everyone else cowered in their homes, the boys and their parents handled the rather nasty insect infestation with ease. Da Vinci's journal backs this up. People say that it was Inigo that led the charge, that he killed 15 of the beasts by himself, laughing all the while. I can't wait to meet him. All I know is that he and Fergus were at Cyrodiil. Maybe I'll strike out in the direction and try my luck. What about the second one? Might as read both in succession. Volume 2. Inigo and Beowulf. I just stopped in a little village on the border, and seems that the brothers come through this way a few years ago. Inigo and Fergus are making a name for themselves. It seems that for quite some time the village has been terrorized by a giant known by the locals as Beowulf, the flatulent, for reasons you can imagine. Inigo and Fergus heard about this while renting a room for the night. Apparently a patron heard them talking. Inigo said, "I've never seen the giant before." Then Fergus replied, "We'll deal with it tomorrow. It's late." Inigo said, "Go get your beauty rest son. I'll take care of the giant." Fergus nodded and said, "Fair enough. Yo, if you need me." Then Inigo patted his brother on the shoulder and walked out. Fergus downed his ale and went to bed. An hour or so passed, and Inigo staggered and dragging something heavy. He was grinning ear to ear. "I brought you a souvenir, barkeep." He heaved the giant's club onto the bar. Everyone gasped. He's only slightly less smelly dead, so I'd bury him first thing in the morning if I were you, said Inigo. Everyone cheered and laughed, and the innkeeper mounted the club above the bar. After a lot of negotiation, I managed to convince him to sell me the club. It's wonderful to have something he touched. Makes me feel closer to him somehow. He killed his first giant single-handed, and Inigo and Fargus are obviously as tough as they come. Well, that is to be true. Inigo is a strong one. Inigo and the Witches of Thalmor. Why does that name sound familiar to me? I follow Lee to the town of Anvil, where I have discovered more evidence of the brothers and their daring deeds. Apparently, they passed through here a year ago and ended the lives of a group of treacherous hags that had been seducing the local men and sacrificing them. Inigo and Fergus rescued a man from the witches' table, and he was quite happy to tell me his tale. He said that 2 Khajiit men, one broad and golden, the other weary and bluish purple, stuck into the cave where he was being held. The hags were in a high tent at the far end of the cave, noisily preparing a beastly incantation of some sort. The golden Khajiit, Fergus, I assume, crept to the far end of the tent, sword in hand, and Inigo ready his bow and waited in the shadows. Fergus raised a hand to Inigo. Inigo nodded, then loosed an arrow. It tore a hole in the tent, and there was a horrible scream from within. The wretch ran out, wielding a dagger. Fergus decapitated her and called out, "Join us, ladies. You have 2 new suitors here. We are ready to take you out." I feel like I really liked Fergus. There was lots of angry yelling from within the tent, and the witches burst out, spewing fire and ice from their hands. The poor man strapped to a sacrificial table watched in terror as the mighty battle began. He saw Fergus take the heads off 2 more witches, then raise his shield as a massive gout of flame erupted from the hands of a third. Inigo put an arrow through the hag's eye as his brother's shield disintegrated. Fergus tossed a melting hunk of metal away and ducked as Inigo shot a witch behind him. Apparently the brothers fought as if they had one mind. The man said it was like watching a beautiful dance, with more screaming and blood. Soon the witches of Thalmor all lay dead. The brothers laughed and hugged. I really would like to see them together. They freed the man through the cave and went on their way. After hearing this story, I ventured to the cave where it all took place, found the remains of the witches. I took their heads, yet more evidence that Inigo is indeed real, and the champion I seek. Inigo and Beowulf the Broad. I'm so close. I just received another Inigo artifact from my growing collection. The helm of a barbarian called Beowulf the Broad. My continued search for Inigo and Fargus has led me north to a small unmarked settlement in the mountains that border Skyrim. The brothers were here 2 months ago. This Beowulf character had been in charge for a year. He was fierce and mighty and utterly insane. He and his crew enslaved the locals and forced them to dig a mine. He was convinced that the village lay on an ebony deposit. He had the men and women serve him in 1,000 poured rays when they were not digging. They say that one day a local boy tripped while bringing Beowulf a cup of mead. The brute reached out his slab-like arms and ripped the poor boy's head from his shoulders. One day 2 Khajiit warriors came to town. They were greeted by one of Beowulf's men at the gate. On seeing Inigo's unusual covering, the thug laughed, jeering and pointed. Fargus drew a sword in a blur and attempted them and amputated the man's leg in a flash. "Next time you mock my brother, they'll have your head. Do we have an understanding?" said Fargus. The man nodded, wept, and whimpered at the remains of his leg sprouting blood onto the snow. Inigo stepped forward into the village. You have heard tales of the great misery you bullies have inflicted on the rightful owners of this land, he shouted. Run and live, or stand and die. A group of Beowulf's men drew their swords, but did not advance. They obviously lacked their legs. Beowulf heard the commotion and stepped out of his hut. He was tall and possessed the bulky breath of a giant. His legs and arms were like tree trunks, his chest was like a brewery barrel, and his head was the size of a cooking pot. What's all this? Everyone get back to work, he yelled. Now I'm just throwing voices to try and make it a little more entertaining. Everyone get back to work. The locals all dropped their heads and hurried away. Fergus spoke up. I'm guessing you're the reason the people here scurry like mice. Beowulf laughed. Yes, you had better scurry back the way you came, little kitty, unless you want to work my mind with the rest. Inigo drew his bow and addressed the retreating townsfolk. Worry not, good people. This smelly pile of dung is about to give his last order. Beowulf's face turned red with rage. Kill them, he shouted. Fergus raised his sword and yelled, If you have no affiliation with this brute, get indoors. We have no quarrel with you. People ran and doors slammed. Frightened faces peered through the windows. Beowulf's men advanced. There were at least 20, but after Inigo and Fergus made short work of the first 10, the rest fled. Beowulf was fierce and rushed at the brothers, wielding a massive axe. Fergus rolled out of the way and Inigo put an arrow into the man's helm. This normally would have ended things, but Beowulf was solid as a rock, and he kept coming. That's an award for you. Fergus slashed at the huge man's arms and legs, but no wound went deep. There was just too much bone and muscle in the way. Inigo advanced, aiming for the eyes, but the barbarian kept his head down as he fought. Fergus and he only succeeded in preparing Beowulf's helm with arrows, and peppering. A massive hand shot out and took Fergus by the throat. It lifted him off the ground and squeezed. Inigo dropped his bow, drew his sword, and ran to his brother's aid. With flagging strength, Fergus drove his blade into the crook of Beowulf's neck. Inigo ducked a flaming axe blow, jumped on the brute's back, and stabbed his sword under Beowulf's jaw. Suddenly, Fergus was freed. Beowulf dropped his axe and fell to one knee. His gigantic hands groped for the two blades that now pierced his neck. Fergus rushed forward again and grabbed the hilt of his sword. In perfect unison, Inigo and Fergus withdrew their swords and swung them in opposite arcs. The blades rose, winked briefly in the sunlight, then hurtled down again. They collided at the point where Beowulf's massive head met his massive neck, cleaving the two asunder. The brothers fell back into the snow, panting and laughing. The villagers rejoiced. They were finally free from tyranny. Inigo and Fergus set off south sometime later. I roll some beside me as I write this. It cost a pretty penny, but it was worth it. Continue my travels tomorrow. It looks like I'm going south. I'm a murderer. Surprisingly. I met a farmer on the road to Skin Ground yesterday. I asked if he had seen a couple of warrior Khajiits recently. He laughed and said, "We took care of those thieving cutthroats a few days ago." Shocked, I asked him to explain. He said that 2 Khajiit men had been stealing from the local farms and villages for weeks. After finding their camp, the farmer and a group of his mates crept up and attacked the thieves in their sleep using muffled scrolls they brought in town. He said they killed one, but the other got away. Doubt he'll be showing his face around here again, though. I explained that the Khajiit men I was looking for were not thieves. He said, all Khajiits are thieves. Distressed, I asked the farmer to show me the camp. I found Fergus dead and gore streaked under a collapsed and torn tent. I knew it was him instantly. He looked vital, dynamic, and regal. despite the dried blood clinging to his golden fur. I've never felt such outrage, pain, and sadness. The farmer clearly saw change come over me and stepped back. "You fool," I shouted. "This man was a hero, both noble and brave. He was no thief. By the gods, what have you done?" The farmer took a step back. He was a filthy Khajiit, nothing more. I felt my sadness turn to anger. Tears blurred my vision as I glared at the fool. He took another step back. He was a scoundrel and thief, good for nothing, no use getting upset. Before I knew what I was doing, my hands had taken charge and engulfed the farmer in a torrent of flame. I watched him burn and scream as flame leapt from my palms. I've never before now used my magic against a person. I still feel sick, but Fergus deserves better than to die at the hands of a group of witless, racist inbreds. I would have him mutilate every last one of them. They have been standing there before me at that moment. I cleared the ragged remains of the tent away and knelt by Fergus. I held his cold, golden hand. "You saved Inigo, didn't you?" I whispered. "Where did he go, Fergus?" I dug a grave nearby and laid the brave warrior to rest. I looked around for his sword, but it was gone. Probably taken by one of his killers. There was no sign of Inigo anywhere. At least he survived the attack. I only hope his grief has not led him astray. I must find him soon. I'll stay at the camp tonight and see if I'm visited by a new vision. Oh, Inigo, you're not as alone as you feel. Nothing. It has been years since I found Fergus, and I'm no closer to locating Inigo. It's as if he dropped off the map. My visions of the Doomstrider are less frequent, so perhaps the death of Fergus somehow changed our destiny. I know not. I'll settle back in Skyrim for now. I paid a small group of adventurers to seek out and acquire any artifacts and information related to Inigo. So far, none have returned. I have also employed the services of a powerful conjuration mage. He's hard at work in the Imperial city trying to create a summon spell that will hopefully teleport Inigo straight to me when cast. Mages assure me such a spell is possible, but will only work if the caster is a true friend of the summoned individual. I told him that I'm the only true friend Inigo has left. Unfortunately, the incantation will take some time to prepare. A nightmare. I had a horrific dream last night. Inigo was trapped in a vast, dark chamber. He was bleeding badly and surrounded by a Draugr. He fought them off and went up a spiral staircase. But there was someone else there. A wizard. I wasn't quite as lucky. Where did the dream take place? It looked like Skyrim. I can't be sure. Damn it, I need that spell. Hope. Thank the gods. Inigo's indeed still alive. In my latest dream, I saw him leaving Windhelm carrying a dragonfly in a jar. He looked tired and ragged, but he's out there somewhere. With age, his fur has begun to take a rather naive hue. Time changes us all, I suppose. When I saw this book, I had a thick head of black hair. I saw Inigo save a farmer from a frost troll. The farmer thanked him and offered him gold, but Inigo ignored the gesture and plodded away. Where is he heading? My visions ended shortly after he reached a fork in the road. They traveled towards Riften and Whiterun. I set out in search of him immediately, but the summon spell wasn't due any day now. Alas. Swindler. The spell arrived today and it's worthless. I tried reading the tome 100 times and it does nothing. Well, not quite nothing. If I read gently, then so I'm shut. That conjuration mage is a swindling con artist. I want my money back. I'll keep trying nonetheless. Perhaps I can force it to work somehow. By the gods, that charlatan is going to pay. I may not know much about conjuration, but I can kick a fellow in the crotch as well as the next man. I'll give him that. I'll definitely give him that. He's still going on with that song.
Skyrim and we fight all our lives. And when Sovngarde beckons, one of
It's
our
late.
ties.
Better get some rest. Come on, Nico. See if we can get in bed. I know, boy. I know.
Skyrim is full of wonders, and we must make the most of them while we are here to enjoy them.
No true words have ever been spoken, Inigo. There's beauty of missing home, but for now, be ready, you two. I see a troll up on the hill. Let's finish this conversation later, I suppose. Come on, let's pay it a visit. Fus Roda! Yeah! Get walls down, you two. Here. Here. Oh. What was I saying about home? Alright. It's all well and good to miss home. As you said, Inigo.
Where is that stupid dog?
Inigo. As I was saying about home. It's all good to miss the place that you grew up from. I miss Skyrim a lot when I was away.
Hey, Rick. Hey, Rick. That's quite fun to say.
Eric. Lucian. If you're going to say my name, at least try to pronounce it as if you were Nord. Eric. It's a good name. That's what my father gave it to me. I didn't miss Skyrim during my journeys. But as you said, Inigo, adventuring is a home in of itself. It really is. But shouldn't be too much farther to Solitude. We saw it if you two were paying attention as we were crossing the bridge. A glimpse of the Blue Palace, and I believe Castle Dawn. Now the Blue Palace and Solitude as a whole may be the capital of Skyrim. The Castle Dawn is where the High King once sat. It's where Torrig and his father sat. Until their murder. Well, until his murder. And there's the stables now, and you can see Blue Palace right there. As where else if, I imagine, the Jarl of Solitude of Hafengar. Besides now. There's no telling how this place is, given the conflict of the war. Let's leave our horses here. Continue on foot. That goes for you too, Inigo. There's no telling what we'll see going in.
If you've come to Solitude to join the Legion, speak to Rika. If not, just keep your nose clean while you're here, or you'll end up like Rogvir.
End up like Rogvir. Alright. Almost as if on cue. I thought I told you to leave Roach with Elsiga. Come on. Let's get to this inn and meet this wood elf. Soldier. He's a legate. No doubt seeing General Tullis. Come on. Let's keep our heads down and hands where we can see them.
They can't hurt Uncle Rogvir. Tell them he didn't do it.
That's what he meant.
Or you need to go home. Go home and stay there until your mother comes.
Traitor!
Don't imagine either you won't see an execution.
You should tell her that it's all his scum that betrayed his high king.
So much
Best you
beauty
know now.
and so much culture.
They're all hard.
Beauty and culture,
Rogvir,
you say.
Ulfric Stormcloak escaped the city after he murdered High by opening
Well, you can bask in the culture if you want. I'm going to the inn to see Malborn.
There was no murder. Ulfric challenged Torrig. He beat the High King in fair combat.
You challenged Torrig.
Such is our way. Such is the ancient custom of Skyrim and all Nords.
God sovereign God, friend. Sure who judge your intent there.
On this day,
Julian,
Yes,
I go
Indigo?
to Sovngarde.
I was wondering, did you have any interesting or disturbing dreams recently?
I'm guessing you did? Go on, let's hear it.
Yes. I dreamed I was eating sweet rolls in bed. Then I realized I was a sweet roll and I was eating myself. Tasty and debilitating.
Well, that's
Some
horrifying.
gate
I
guard
hope
you
for your
were.
sake it wasn't a prediction.
I do not see how it could be.
Go away.
How many sweet rolls have you eaten over the last week?
Yes, Inigo.
A few. Why?
Nothing. I'm sure you'll be just fine. Maybe I should look after your sweet rolls for a while. Just as a precaution. You understand?
I appreciate
Good
the
luck,
concern,
Lucian.
but it is okay. I will take my chances.
Well,
That's
I think
definitely
you're
going
playing
in
a
my part
dangerous
of the
game.
era.
Noted.
Well, if all else fails, Inigo, maybe it's one of Langley's tricks to try and get you to believe that he is your truest friend.
Proudspire Manor.
I hope you two are
There's
done
a
talking.
Up for sale, too. If you're interested, talk to the steward in the keep.
I'll keep that on notes. Let's just see this Malborn fellow.
Welcome to the Winking Skeever.
Hello, everyone. If I could have your attention, please. Has anyone seen a shifty-looking wood elf?
Lucian?
Nobody? Looks like we're on our own.
Lucian?
Hey, Rick, I've been meaning to ask you something. Got a moment?
Yes. If you can keep your voice down, what is it?
Look, I know I'm not very good at practical things. You know, combat.
Yes.
I rely on you to win our battles, and I shouldn't. So I suppose I was wondering, do you think you could train me?
You want me to train you? Well, I will admit I'm always learning myself, and I do have some knowledge that my father taught me and skills I picked up, but I've never really been a teacher, but of course, we'll start as soon as we have the time for it, but do keep your voice down, not announce to everyone in the 9 holds that we're here looking for a shifty fellow.
Fantastic! Can't wait to get cracking.
Of course.
Right behind you.
Of course. Let's find this non-shifty fellow. Be out of here. If I was a wood elf not wanting to get attention of Thalmor, where would I be? I'm guessing upstairs might be a good look. Torek. I do remember him slightly before I left Skyrim. Though that might have been before he was king or as he got coronated. Where is this fellow? I split up, you 3. Yes, that includes you, Miko. See where we can find him. There he is. How did we miss him?
What do you need?
I was hoping to talk to you, friend.
For the age of aggression is just about done.
You don't know me, but our mutual friend sent me.
Really? You're who she picked? I hope she knows what she's doing.
Me and you
Here's
both.
the deal. I can smuggle some equipment into the embassy for you. Don't plan on bringing anything else in with you. The Thalmor takes security very seriously. Give me what you can't live without, and I'll make sure to get it into the embassy. The rest is up to you.
You can smuggle some things in there. They must be a trusted sort. What things do you think you can smuggle in? Because I do have quite a few.
You're asking me? She promised that she was sending someone who knew what they were doing.
I
If
do
you
know
actually want to
what
get
I'm
out
doing.
alive, I'd bring whatever you need to move quietly and kill quickly.
Moving quietly is not my strong suit, but quickly. I could do that in spades. Alright. Take these things and handle them with care, will you?
You're asking if you actually want to get out alive, I'd bring whatever you need to move quietly and kill quickly. Okay, I'll get this inside the embassy for you. I've got to go. I'll find you at the party. Don't worry.
Be careful. I know you'll need it.
It's an end to the evil of Skyrim's foes.
Feel naked.
Beware, the dragonborn comes.
Alright. Now for the next part of Delphine's plans.
You'll know the dragonborns come.
You'll know indeed.
Well, I suppose you're off to this party full of evil racist elves. Best of luck. I'll see you on the other side.
I thought you wanted to go and be a spy of a spy of a spy, Lucian. If I can sneak in, I'm sure you can find your way in. I have a way to get you an Inigo. But you're right. It's probably best that you do stay around here, Lucian. Might be for the better. I'm sure Inigo and I have this, but... Lucian.
Sorry, I keep meaning to give you this, since this arrangement seems to be working out all right for us so far.
Oh. Thank you. What is it exactly?
Oh, it's a Dwemer resonance sphere. Just something my father gave to me before I left home for when I found myself someone to travel with. When activated, it resonates with its twin, which I'll always keep on my person. That way, if we're ever separated, all you have to do is give it a rub, and we'll be able to find each other, no matter how far apart we are. Handy, right?
Is it like the spell for Inigo? No matter, just thank you, Lucian. And tell your father I said that as well if you write to him.
Don't mention it. I mean, hopefully we won't have to use it very often. I'll stick to you like, oh, I don't know, something sticky. Yep, that's what I'll do.
I can think of tar. That's awfully sticky. There she is.
Have you
Delphine?
given Malborn the gear you want to smuggle into the embassy?
Yes, begrudgingly I couldn't give him everything that I own because I'd be naked. Malborn's all set.
Good. I have your invitation to the party.
Good.
The only way you're going to get past the guards is if they really believe you're an invited guest. Which means you need to look the part and not be armed to the teeth. Here, put this on. When you're ready, I'll keep the rest of your gear safe until you get back. You'll only have what Malborn smuggled in for you, plus whatever you can pick up inside.
You expect me to wear this? You... Alright, fine, give me a moment to change.
A dragon or 1,000 angry chickens? Now that's a fight I'd pay to see.
I'm betting on the dragon. Yeah, I hope no one looks in here. Alright, I'm coming out. Say it now.
You look very fancy, my friend.
I feel like a fool. At least it's appropriate. Makes me look like a Jarl, at least. Bulgriff will get a chuckle out of this. Alright, Delphine.
I guess that will have to do. You should pass for a real guest, at least until you open your mouth. Ready to board the carriage to the embassy?
Now you're just insulting the way I speak. I'm ready. Keep the rest of my things safe for me and keep an eye on Lucian as well.
Don't worry, it will all be waiting for you when you get back. Just make sure you get back out of there alive with the information we need. Good luck.
Thank you. I'll need it.